How mitakupi trokaher le ampetuki le chante hetaha yuskia na be ochiuspa belo. Le miecha ikanchola tipiki elwahi na maza shkanshkan oapre wanji Lakota woglakapi na lakowichoch ki hena u iwagla kinkta yellow. Dwecha taku anagup na kapi ki hena wopila tranka ipre yellow. My relatives, first of all, on this day, from my heart, I extend my handshake in a happy way. This is me. I have come to the radio station. And for 1 hour, the Lakota language and culture I will speak on. Those that are sitting somewhere and listening, I give you my words of thanks. Today is the 24th edition of the program, the Lakota Cultural Hour. Thank you for tuning in. I want to say thank you to those of you turning in. I know I had few people come and share some comment about the program, and really appreciate those comments. They said that it's good listening, and they look forward to learning some words. I just want to put a shout out to whoever did that rain dance. Nikili, you're awesome. Gave us a little break from excuse me. Gave us a little break from the drought that was happening, drought conditions. Review again from last week. We did a lesson 7, communications, body movements, and facial expressions, from a publication called Hechitu Yalo. And that's the way it is, Hechitu Yalo. And you can use that phrase if you want to. If you're talking to somebody and when you get done, you could say Hechitu Yalo, Hechitu Yalo. That's the way it is. And it's a publication that was made in 1989. And then we had the story, Cheyenne story, Life and Death of Sweet Medicine. And that was a long story, but it talked about sweet medicine, how it came to the people, and then the sacred arrows, 4 arrows, and the medicine, sweet medicine that grew, and also the eventual death of sweet medicine, but how he helped the people. Grandmother raised him, and he taught the people some games, some new games, and also showed his skill, special gift in hunting and providing, and then also instructed them on the use of the sacred arrow, 4 sacred arrows. And then we had some PSA, some information on the little bighorn, and we call it here locally, they want to call it Pejishla, and that's greasy grass. And so I read a flyer, read from information on a flyer that was out and about and probably still posted. And this is June 25th, 2026, so it's still coming up. And there's there's probably updates on the radio and throughout the town of Eagle Butte, throughout the reservation, and I believe the more information we get on it, the more we'll know what's going to happen. And if we find out more, more than what we know now, we'll put it out to you. Then also I referenced a book that I picked up from one of my travels, and talked about the Washichu and Lakota, Taku Kichapi, how they treated each other like a relationship. And so the white and Indian relationship. But it is a very valuable resource. It's 1888 to 1891. So there's a period of time this book covered, and it's a lot of details, a lot of good information. It's not really good information for us as Lakota, but it'll tell you what happened to our people during this time period. And it's a keeper. It'll get you mad, get you all fired up. But again, we can't change history. We can't change that, what happened to us. But we can read about it and maybe prevent future things from happening to us, that will make our life a little more tolerable. I'd like to continue on with the prayer portion of it. And this is the Serenity Prayer. Tonkashila wachwala makuyo. Daku waglutokcha owakihi shni hena omakyayo. Daku waglutokcha owakihi hena washake makuo. Na omakyaki lena woksape hechil wagluhakta yelo. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I just added amen to that prayer, the end of the prayer, which is always fitting. And then my usual comment about it is hektakia akupo. Keep on coming back. And this prayer is usually used to start a self-help meeting or some kind of program, self-help program, and we always incorporate this prayer. And when I was a working man, sound like a song. When I was a working man, I'd have this posted on my wall. And so when I came into work, I would say a prayer. And this was the prayer that got me through the day. And I'd like to get into the Lakota language part of this. Last week, we talked about lesson 7, and we did quite an extensive process of covering some material, body movements and facial expression, and then we jumped into active verbs, facial expression exercises, and I mentioned that it would be hard to visualize this on the radio because unless there was a camera involved in it, you could see me making all kinds of faces, and then we completed with there's a fill in the blanks exercise, and I think it required you to utilize the cassette tape, and we don't have the cassette tape. And then there's a whole bunch of what you call verbal conjugations. And the base word is wistecha. To be shy or bashful, wistecha. And then I am shy or bashful, we must steche. You are shy or bashful, we nisteche. The third person one, he or she is shy or bashful, we stitche, we stitche. And then we get into pluralization. They are shy or bashful. We stitch uppy, we stitch uppy. You all are shy or bashful. You all, kind of like Oklahoma style. Y'all are shy or bashful, or something like that. I used to visit Oklahoma when I was going to school in Kansas. We need stitch uppy. We need stitch uppy. And then we all are shy or bashful. We all are shy or bashful. We stitch uppy. We stitch uppy. And then this one is a good exercise. Icha, to smile. Iwacha, I am smiling. Iyacha, you are smiling. He or she is smiling. Icha, so it returns to the base word. Then pluralization, they are smiling. Ichapi. You all are smiling. Yachapi. We all are smiling. Unkichapi. Then it goes to chea, is the word to cry. Chea. Wachea, I am crying. Wachea. You are crying. Yachea. And then he or she is crying. Third person. Chea goes back to the base word. They are crying. Cheapi. You all are crying. Yacheapi. We all are crying. Uncheapi. To be sad, lonesome, or lonely. Yokshicha. I am sad, lonesome, or lonely. Yomakshiche. You are sad, lonesome, or lonely. Yonikshiche. He or she is sad, lonesome, or lonely. Yokshicha. So we go back to that base word. Excuse me. Pluralization, they are sad, lonesome, or lonely. Yokshichapi. You all are sad, lonesome, or lonely. Yonikshichapi. We all are sad, lonesome, or lonely. Younkshichapi. This one is to be mad or angry. Chanzeke. I got mad or angry. Machanzeke. You got mad or angry. Ni chanzeke. And then he or she got mad or angry. Chanzeke. Pluralization, they got mad. Chanzekapi. You all got mad or angry. Ni chanzekapi. We all are mad or angry. Unki chanzekapi. To stretch. Igluzicha. I am stretching. Megluzicha. You are stretching. Ni gluzicha. Third person, he or she is stretching. Igluziche. Pluralization, they are stretching. Igluzichapi. You all are stretching. Nigluzichapi. We all are stretching. Unkigluzichapi. And then this is a movement to push. Patita. I am pushing. Oh, patita, to push. I am pushing. Wapatita. Wapatita. You are pushing. Yapatita. Yapatita. He or she is pushing, third person. Patita. Patita. They are pushing. Patita bi. Patita bi. You all are pushing. Yapatita bi. Yapatita bi. We all are pushing. Umpatita bi. Umpatita bi. Next one is to walk. Mani. Mani. I am walking. Mawani. Mawani. You are walking. Mayani. Mayani. He or she is walking. Mani. They are walking. Manipi. Manipi. You all are walking. Mayanipi. Mayanipi. We all are walking. Maunipi. Maunipi. To jump over. Apsicha. Apsicha. I jumped over. Awapsiche. Awapsiche. You jumped over. Ayapsiche. Ayapsiche. Third person, he or she jumped over. Apsiche. Apsiche. They jumped over. Apsichapi. Apsichapi. You all jumped over. Ayapsichapi. Ayapsichapi. We all jumped over. Unkapsichapi. Unkapsichapi. To pull, another action. Verb to pull. Utita. Utita. I am pulling. Blutita. Blutita. You are pulling. Lutita. Lutita. He or she is pulling, third person. Utita. Utita. Pluralization, they are pulling. Utitapi. Utitapi. You all are pulling. Lutitampi. Lutitampi. We all are pulling. Unki utitampi. Unki utitampi. This is another action word. To crawl. To crawl. Slohe. Slohe. I am crawling. Waslohe. Waslohe. You are crawling. Yaslohe. Yaslohe. He or she is crawling, third person. Slohe. Slohe. They are crawling. Slohampi. Slohampi. You all are crawling. Yaslohampi. Yaslohampi. We all are crawling. Slohampi. Slohampi. To run. Ianke. Ianke. I am running. Wa'i manke. Wa'i nanke. You are running. Ya ianke. Ya ianke. He or she is running. Ianke. Ianke. They are running. Iankapi. Iankapi. You all are running. Ya iankapi. Ya iankapi. We all are running. Unkiankapi. Unkiankapi. Another action word, to jump. Psiche. Psiche. I am jumping. Wapsiche. Wapsiche. You are jumping. Yapsiche. Yapsiche. He or she is jumping, third person. Psiche. Psiche. They are jumping. Psichapi. Psichapi. You all are jumping. Yapsichapi. Yapsichapi. We all are jumping. Umsichapi. Umsichapi. To rest. Asnikia, asnikia. I am resting. Asniwakia, asniwakia. You are resting. Asniakia, asniakia. He or she is resting. Asnikia, asnikia. Pluralization, they are resting. Asnikiapi, asnikiapi. You all are resting. Anisniyank, asniya yankapi, asniyankapi. We all are resting. Asnionkiapi, asnionkiapi. To play, shkata, shkata. I am playing washkate, washkata. You all are playing yashkata, yashkata. He or she is playing third person shkata, shkata. They are playing shkatapi, shkatapi. You all are playing yashkatapi, yashkatapi. We all are playing ushkatapi, ushkatapi. To point at, to point to or at, epazo, epazo. I pointed to or at, ewapazo, ewapazo. You pointed to or at, iapazo, eapazo. Third person, he or she pointed to or at, epazo, epazo. Pluralization, they pointed at to or at, epazo pi, epazo pi. You all pointed to or at, eapazo pi, eapazo pi. We all pointed to or at, eupazo pi, eupazo pi. This one's going to be a good one. To jump up, wanka iechia, wanka iechia. I jumped up. Wanka iye michia, wanka iye michia. I jumped up. You jumped up. Wanka iye nichia, wanka iye nichia. He or she jumped up. Wanka iechia, wanka iechia. Pluralization, they jumped up. Wanka iechia pi, wanka iechia pi. You all jumped up. Wanka iye nichia pi, wanka iye nichia pi. We all jumped up. Wanka iye unkichia pi, wanka iye unkichia pi. And that is verbal conjugations that I just want to finish from lesson 7 from last week. There was a whole bunch of them, but it was a good, for a good cause. And you can use these words in designing composition. Designing the composition of conversation. It could be a short dialogue, long dialogue. Right now, we're just looking at short dialogue. Oh, I guess I am. And you could learn, teach yourself how to do long dialogue. It's not very hard, but it's not very easy either. But we have to dedicate some time to the process. So I'm going to reach into my little bag. I think they call it wopachte. I'll reach into my bag and come up with another wichoyake. And this is from the standby, the book American Indian Myths. And there's a little pause for the cause. But I wrote everything down except for the page number. So that's kind of where I just have to look for it. And it's a good story. It's just that sometimes the stories get lost. So we're in part 3. There's donut parts to this. And I wanted to give you a little example of different tales from different tribes. And they could be incorporated in our lives too, because if we look at where we live, we got a lot of different tribes that come through here. We have an annual Labor Day powwow, and there's a gathering of different tribes that come. And because we're the host sponsor, we're the host, we try to provide cultural learning, cultural information about our tribe. And then through visiting with kolas that travel the circuit, the powwow circuit, they're more willing to share some of their information. So this one is from the Winnebago, and it's called Little Brother Snares the Sun. So this is a time when, just like first creation, when things were just getting sorted out, and I'll give you some description of the background, the logistical information. But it's really interesting. The Eye of the Great Spirit is the chapter, part 3, and then Tales of the Sun, Moon, and the Stars. And this one says, Little Brother Snares the Sun. So you have to put your imagination to work on these ones. At the beginning, when the earth was new, the animals were the chiefs. They were more powerful than humans, whom they hunted, killed, and ate. Finally, they killed all the people except one girl and her little brother who lived in hiding. The brother was very small, no bigger than a newborn child. But the girl was normal in size because she was so much bigger. She took care of him and did all the work. One winter day, the girl had to go out and gather food in the woods. To keep little brother occupied, she gave him her bow and arrows. Hide until the snowbird comes, she told him. Wait until he looks for grubs in that huge dead tree. Then kill him with one of your arrows. The little sister went off and the snowbird came. But little brother's arrows missed him. It doesn't matter, the sister said when she came home. Try again tomorrow. The next day she went into the forest again. Once more the bird came, and this time the boy's arrow hit and killed him. Proudly he showed the little bird to his sister when she returned at night. Sister, I want you to skin the snowbird and stretch the hide, he said. I'll be killing more birds, and when we have enough skins, you can make a feather robe for me. But what shall we do with the meat? Asked the girl. At that time, people ate only berries and other green things because they didn't hunt. It was animals who hunted them. Make soup out of it, said little brother, who was clever in spite of his size. Every day for 10 days he shot a snowbird, and his sister made him a fine feather robe from the skins. Sister, are there no other people in this world? He asked one day. Are we the only ones? There may be others, she said, but we don't dare go looking for them. Terrible animals would stalk and kill us. But little brother was consumed with curiosity. So when his sister went off to gather food again, he set out to look for other humans. He walked a long time, but met neither people nor animals. He got so tired that he lay down in a spot where the sun had melted the snow away. While he was sleeping, the sun rose and shot fiery rays upon little brother. Waking up, the boy found that his feather robe had scorched and tightened around him so that he couldn't move. To free himself, he had to tear it apart, ruining it. He shook his fist and shouted, "Son, I'll get even. Don't think you're so high that I can't get at you. Do you hear me up there?" Angry and sad, little brother returned home. He wept when he told his sister how the sun had spoiled his feather robe. He lay down on his right side for 10 days and refused to eat or drink. Still fasting, he lay on his left side for another 10 days. After 20 days, he got up and told his sister to make a snare for him to catch the sun. She had only a short length of dried deer sinew, and out of that she made a noose. "I can't catch the sun with that little thing," he said. So the girl made a string for him out of her hair, but he said, "This isn't long or strong enough." "Then I'll have to make a snare out of something secret," she said. She went out and gathered many secret things and twisted them into a strong cord. The moment he saw it, little brother said, "This is the one." To wet the cord, he drew it to his lips again and again so that it grew longer and stronger. Then little brother waited until the middle of the night when it was the darkest. He went out and found a hole to which the sun would rise, and at its entrance he set his snare. When the sun came up at the usual time, he was caught and held fast. There was no day that day. There was no light, no warmth. Even though the animals were chiefs who had killed and eaten the people, they were afraid. They called a council of all their elders and talked for a long time. At last they decided that the biggest and most fearsome of all the animals should go and gnaw through the cord holding the sun. This animal was Dormouse, who was not small as it is now, but big as a mountain. Even so, Dormouse was afraid of the sun. "What you want me to do is dangerous," she said, "but I will try." Dormouse went to the place where the sun rises and found him in the snare. Struggling to free himself, the sun had grown hotter. As Dormouse approached, the hair on her back smoked and was singed off, but she crouched down and began to gnaw on the cord. She chewed, and after a long time managed to bite it in two. Freed at last, the sun rose at once and made everything bright again. But the heat had shriveled Dormouse down to her present size, and the sun rays had half blinded her. So she was given the name Blind Woman. Though brave Dormouse had freed the sun, everybody realized that little brother who had snared the sun was the wisest being in this world and the one with the greatest power. Since that time, the humans have been the chiefs over the animals, the hunters instead of the hunted. So this was told, I believe, in, there's a date on there, or maybe there's not a date. But it was a story that about little brother snaring the sun. So remember, little brothers, you got some powers. And remember, we're the chiefs over the animals. So if them animals act up, we can take action and control them. And sometimes when it's a full moon, I think some of us act like animals. So we got to be careful. So with that, I'm going to go to another portion. And these are what you call PSAs, and it's an upcoming event that's going to take place on June 25. 5, 25th. The word I came up with is Hochna Richala. Hochna Richala. Hochna Richala. Hochna Richala. So they say if you say it 4 times, you'll remember it. But I said it 4 times and I can't even remember it. But I'll see if I can remember it. This is a PSA Peji Shla Wokiksuye. Peji Shla Wokiksuye. Greasy Grass Remembrance. And I read this, I think I received this on May 11th, 2026. It says, June 25th, 2026, Wamblipaha, Igabute, South Dakota, and then in a bullet, 10 bullets, there's cultural, educational, games, memories, feed, and more. In honor of the 150th anniversary of the Pejishla Greasy Grass Battle, there will be activities of celebration scheduled for June 25th. The events will range from a parade, traditional wachipi, walk and run, horseback riding, games, cultural education, and meals throughout the day. This is to celebrate the compassion, sacrifice, and contribution our relatives had done for us in the present. More flyers and information will be sent out for everyone to plan accordingly as well as participate. So this is the cover, and then I received 3 more, and this will happen. I think the tentative agenda starts at 8 a.m. with probably a gathering of the organizers on June 25th. At 9 a.m., there'll be a parade down Main Street. So the parade will start at 9 a.m. approximately. And they'll, I think there's an order of business too. They wanted to have some horseback riders, if there's any riders, and then also the drum group, and also people that have floats. They could put them in a float or put them in a parade. It could be a grand marshal. We're not sure. And then it says to conclude the parade and Azilia with prayer at the end. And so it looks like a 2-hour process. And then at noon will be a lunch meal. Dechstraka dogs and burgers. That's on the menu. And then I believe there'll be an evening meal. And this is just a rough draft. I don't have the current one. I missed the last meeting. Or no, I did go to that. That's what I got the last meeting. Okay, this one, let's see. Ikcheya Akichapi. Teepee Challenge. Lakota style teepee raising contest. And it has some criteria. You know, you have to have 4 relatives per team. So you got to be related. You can't have no friends or kolas or distant cousins. Got to be takucheapi. Or it could be 4 people. I don't know. 4 persons per team. 2 youth and 2 adults per team. So you got to have 2 with koshkalaka, nice koshkalaka, and 2 wichasha, 2 or 2 wia, combo. Could be a mixture of all, but it got to be 2 and 2 youth and 2 adults per team. Okay, there's a limit. First 10 teams to enter will be in the competition. Fastest 3 teams will win a prize. 3 fastest teams will win first, second, and third. Also, fastest team wins bragging rights. Fastest team wins bragging rights. And this is just a general narrative that accompanies all 3 of the flyers, but I'll read it once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. To celebrate this historical day, we encourage relatives to partake in activities and events, provided the Ti Ikche Baslata, the teepee raising contest, will be held during the traditional Wachipi on this day. We encourage safety as well as enjoyment during this event. To bring your best Wachipi chair and support or participate in this cultural event. For more information, contact the Lakota Cultural Center at 605-964-2542. So remember, bring your own chair and also proceed with caution. Watch yourselves, because if you're sitting too close and when the tree falls, the branches might hit you. But in this case, the pole. When the pole falls, it might bump you on the head or something. So it's good watching. If you're going to participate, start exercising. Start running from the table to the refrigerator. Get in shape. Or start jogging. They said it's worse to jog than run. So run. Don't jog, because it's not good for your health. But that's the teepee challenge. And I've seen that happen before. The second one, and this one says there's Mazaska involved. So, Chanchega Mimela, hand drum singing contest. Registration is open to all. Must provide own Chanchega Mimela, singer's choice of song. So, adults' first place is Opawiche Yamani. Ohiapik de lo na Chanchega Mimela wasi Isa Yachuk de lo. So, keep that in mind. Adult second place is Opawiche Nupa Sam Wikchemna Zapta Mazaska Yachu Ohia Oyakiktelo. Now third place is Mazaska Opawiche Numpa Ohia Piktelo. Then we have a youth category. Dwe Ohiaki Mazaska Opawiche Yamani Ichukte na Chanchega Mimela waji Isa Ohia Iktelo Chahekixi. Youth second place Opawiche Mazaska Opawiche Numpa Sam Wikchemna Zapta Ohia Piktelo. Youth third place Opawiche Numpa Mazaska Ohia Iktelo. So that is the Chanchega Mimela hand drum singing contest. And this is the narrative that accompanies it. To celebrate this historical day, we encourage relatives to partake in activities and events provided. The Chanchega Mimela hand drum singing contest will be held during the traditional Wachipi on this day. This day is June 25th, 2026. Okay, we encourage safety as well as enjoyment during this event. So bring your best Wachipi chair and support or participate in a cultural event. For more information, contact Lakota Cultural Center, 605-964-2542. Okay, this is the one. Ochnagi Chila. Okay. Akisha na Ochnagichala. Akish to shout na Ochnagichala. Li. Trilling contest. War cry and trilling contest. Registration is open to all. Wichasha, there's a category for the Wichasha, the man, and first place. And no mazaska or no prize, just first place. Wia, woman, first place. No mazaska identified here on this flyer, but you're going to win first place. You'll be first place. Then we have the youth categories. We have the Hoksila, the boy, going to win first place. Taku hiaki ogalakapshne. They didn't say what you're going to win, but you're going to win first place. And then the Wichinchila, the girl, first place. Winners determined by judges and the crowd. So hopefully there's a crowd out there, or we're going to have to go find some judges. And again, I think it's to celebrate this historical day, we encourage relatives to partake in activities and events provided the Kisha Hohanaki Chala contest will be held at or during the traditional Wachipi on this day. We encourage safety as well as enjoyment during this event. So bring your best Wachipi chair and support or participate in this cultural event. For more information, contact the Lakota Cultural Center. So that is the what's happening. There's probably more events. I think there's a fun walk and run, horseback riding, and some educational programs. And this is all probably going to be centered around the cultural center. And a meal, evening meal. And I'm trying to remember all the things. I think bouncy houses, and also I forgot the basketball. They're going to chase that ball around the court and try to put it in that net, in the goal, and score some points. So that's going to be cool. I believe there's committees upon committees and subcommittees and just some helpers that are going to make this happen. So we really appreciate all of you. And that will be very awesome. At Isampra Kilik Delo. And I just can't wait. When I laced up my canvas Converses, I cleaned them off, got them out of storage, and put on my Nike headband and my, what do you call them, knee brace, ankle brace, elbow brace. What do you call that? You put it on your waist. And then sweatbands. Yep, you got to have sweatbands. Because if you sweat, you can rub the sweat on your sweatbands. And take no prisoners, they said. Once you get on that court, you don't take any prisoners. You just take it to the limit. Score, score, score. Don't worry about defense. Don't worry about fouls. Don't worry about rebounding. Just put that X right there and just go to that spot and just let it fly. And they say you got a good chance of it going in, but it might not go in too. So at least you got a 50-50 chance. But if you keep missing, then they might pull you out of the game, and you have to sit on the bench, and might have to keep score, but that's okay. I was the best bench warmer in the world at one time, and I kept score. I even cheated for my team, but they caught me, so I couldn't keep score no more. I know my kola, James Bear, is probably getting ready. Him and Edwin. Eddie Norse is probably shooting outside of his house, getting ready for that tournament. And can't remember who else. Big Chaz, Charlie Whitey goes. He's probably trying to catch a ride to the gym. Mad Brad Clown, he's probably hitting them trees over there in the south side. I'm going to drive by Indian courts and see who else gathered out there. But it's always good to know that we still got a game in us. It's just taking that time to first find the gear where you stored them or where your wife hid them. I said, no, I just need, don't do that. When I hit you, you can't run no more. Let them young ones play. I'm just teasing because we all can still play. But if we can't play, then we can coach. And they don't want us to referee because then nobody will be playing. They'll kick everybody out of the gym or off the courts. But I just want to ad-lib on that one. Pretend like we're the most powerful of the most powerful ball players. This is a story. It's from the Cheyenne, and I hope to end the program with this. And it's a good story. In the summer of 1876, the two greatest battles between soldiers and Indians were fought on the plains of Montana. The first fight was called the Battle of the Rosebud. The second, which was fought a week later, was called the Battle of the Little Bighorn, where General Custer was defeated and killed. The Cheyennes called the Battle of the Rosebud the fight where the girl saved her brother. And let me tell you why. Well, 100 years ago, the white man wanted the Indians to go into prisons called reservations, to give up the freedom to roam and to hunt buffalo, to give up being Indians. Some tamely submitted and settled down behind the barbed wire of the agencies, but others did not. So those who went to the reservations to live like white men were called friendlies. Those who would not go were called hostiles. They weren't hostile, really. They didn't want to fight. All they wanted was to be left alone to live the Indian way, which was a good way. But the soldiers would not leave them alone. They decided to have a great roundup and catch all hostiles, kill those who resisted, and bring the others back onto the agencies as prisoners. 3 columns of soldiers entered the last stretch of land left to the red man. They were led by Generals Crook, Terry, and Custer. Crook had the most men with him, about 2,000. He also had cannon and Indian scouts to guide him. At the Rosebud, he met the United Sioux and Cheyenne warriors. The Indians had danced the sacred sun dance. The great Sioux chief and holy man Sitting Bull had been granted a vision telling him that the soldiers would be defeated. The warriors were in high spirits. Some men belonging to famous warrior societies had vowed to fight until they were killed, singing their death songs, throwing their lives away, as it was called. They painted their faces for war. They put on their finest outfits so that if they were killed, their enemies would say, "This must have been a great chief. See how nobly he lies there." The old chiefs instructed young men on how to act. The medicine men prepared protective charms for the fighters, putting gopher dust on their hair or painting their horses with hailstone designs. This was to render them invisible to their foes or to make them bulletproof. Brave Wolf had the most admired medicine, a mounted hawk that he fastened to the back of his head. He always rode into battle blowing his eagle bone whistle. And once the fighting started, the hawk came alive and whistled too. Many proud tribes were there besides the Cheyenne, the Hunkpapa, the Minikoju, the Oglala, the Burnt Eyes, the Two Kettles. Many brave chiefs and warriors came, including Two Moons, White Bull, Dirty Moccasins, Little Hawk, Yellow Eagle, and Lame White Man. Among the Sioux was the great Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull, their holy man, still weak from his flesh offerings made at the Sundance, and the fierce Rain in the Face. Who can count them all? What a fine sight they were. Those who had earned the right to wear war bonnets were singing, lifting them up. 3 times they stopped in their singing, and the 4th time they put their bonnets on their head, letting the streamers fly and trail behind them. How good it must have been to see this. Chief Crazy Horse shouted his famous war cry, "A good day to die and a good day to fight. Cowards to the rear, brave hearts, follow me." The fight started. Many brave deeds were done, many coups counted. The battle swayed to and fro more than anybody else's. This was the Cheyennes' fight. This was their day. Among them was a brave young girl, Buffalo Calf Road Woman, who rode proudly beside her husband, Black Coyote. Her brother, Chief Comes in Sight, was in the battle too. She looked for him and at last saw him surrounded, his horse killed from under him, soldiers aiming their rifles at him, while their Crow Scouts circled around him and waited for an opportunity to count coup, but he fought them off with courage and skill. Buffalo Calf Road Woman uttered a shrill, high-pitched war cry. She raced her pony into the midst of the battle, into the midst of the enemy. She made the spine-chilling, thrilling, trembling sound of the Indian woman encouraging her man during a fight. Chief Comes in Sight jumped up on her horse. Behind her, Calf Robe laughed with joy and excitement of battle, and all the while she sang. The soldiers were firing at her, and their Crow Scouts were shooting arrows at her horse, but it moved so fast for her and her brother to be hit. Then she turned her horse and raced up the hill from which the old chiefs and the medicine men were watching the battle. The Sioux and Cheyenne saw what she was doing, and then the white soldiers saw it too. They all stopped fighting and watched the brave girl saving her brother's life. The warriors raised their arms and set up a mighty shout, a long, undulating war cry that made one's hair stand up on end. And even some of the soldiers threw their caps in the air and shouted, "Hurrah!" in honor of Buffalo Calf Road Woman. The battle was still young. Not many men had been killed on either side, but the white general was thinking, if their women fight like this, what will their warriors be like? Even if I win, I will lose half my men. And so General Crook retreated 100 miles or so. He was to have joined up with Custer, Old Yellow Hair, but when Custer had to fight the same Cheyenne and Sioux a week later, Crook was far away and Custer's regiment was wiped out. So in a way, Buffalo Calf Road Woman contributed to that battle too. Many who saw what she had done thought she had counted the biggest coup of all, not taking life, but giving it. That's why the Indians called the Battle of the Rosebud, the fight where the girl saved her brother. The spot where Buffalo Calf Road Woman counted her coup has since been plowed under. A ranch now covers it, but the memory of the deed will last as long as there are Indians. This is not a fairy tale, but it sure is a legend. So this was told about something that happened at the Battle of the Rosebud, where the girl saved her brother. So with that, I will end my program. Tuehena nakaptana kaki na wupila tranke prelo na me glustan cha hechi tiata wagnina. Asniwa kinkten ho na to ha waki ki let go. Let you wa una ke wa kikta cha. I bet to stay hapo ha me taku ye. We are see.